Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Now, by looking at the title, you will probably already know what this is about. And yeah, you're right. I am officially part of the team of solo hunters and maybe some future projects in the making. But obviously, I'm very happy about that. I had to fight quite hard for it, but I'm here now, and that's good. I wanted to explain in this video a little bit why I wanted to be on there. So again, there's no financial motivation behind it. I already talked about that in my previous video. I am, again, also very uncomfortable with like donations and stuff like that. I'm not good with it. But the reason why I believe, because I mean, you can see if you take a look at my channel, I have 1,600 videos on it, and I keep mentioning this because I want to show you the for me, that is an achievement, but it also shows how much time and effort I put into something that does not hold me afloat. Like, I don't live off of this. Like, this is not like that I do this for the, for the clout, because you can see there's not a lot of clout. So, I mean, that is initially the plan in the end, but as now, it's really a passion project. And these projects that I see that Zood has are also passion projects, very successful passion projects. But there was always one thing that I've noticed in his previous games that was lacking, and that was a bridge between the community and the developers. And I think that I have successfully created this bridge now because I listen to you guys. I read through your comments. I almost heart and thumbs up every comment that I get. I don't always reply to everybody, but I read everything at night. That's my job. I read every night the comments that you guys throw in there, and then I start making, well, what I always was good at in my life was seeing patterns, seeing analytical patterns that I can connect the dots. So what I do is I put a lot of stuff from my own thoughts. I just wanted to quickly talk about the balancing Trello here in a sec. It's a nice like transition because I always put a ton of my thoughts into one bucket. Then I take a ton of your thoughts, and then I'm trying to see where are we first of all aligned. Like where are we the same opinion? And these are the ones that I prioritize in the beginning, and then I go over the other ones which I think like, oh man, I didn't even think about that. That's actually a great idea, and I bring those into that as well. Then I put them all into a bin, mix them up, and make a write-up. And that's what I've done for the game quite a few times. The last update, in my eyes, if I really thought it was bad, trust me, I would have told you guys it's a bad update, but I actually enjoyed it. Everything newly that was added was so nice, but it's so chaotic. There's so much chaos going on. That's what I noticed within the team itself, and this is quite common. This is nothing like, it doesn't mean that they are bad at structuring things or anything. It's not. Most of Discord communities that I've seen in the last 4 years, when I was connected to Roblox, they're all disorganized. It's some sort of a, I don't know, it's like a curse. It's like a Discord Roblox game curse. It's not that they are like disorganized, but it's chaotic. That's what I'm saying. Like, because there's a lot of things that you have to understand that these guys do at once. So what they do is they work on this, then they work on new stuff, then you have guys that work on maps and animations and sounds, and it all is kind of like done all together. You need to understand that each update that is being put out when it comes to content, it all has to be created somehow. So somebody actually must make the models, the animations, the movements, the scripting, so it actually connects the movements to the actual actions that people put on the in their keyboard. Sound design. There's so many things that, like, for example, just like one class, like Werewolf, for example, it all has to be done like that. There's so many different steps that you have to do. Then you have to talk about balancing and all of these things. Testing, for example, there's a big alpha tester pool. I always look into it to see how things are progressing. And if you've been at my latest live stream when the update was hitting, you could have seen that it was very chaotic. Like, I didn't show it, but I saw and I talked to you guys about it. I said, oh man, this is really getting spicy in there. It's getting really tensed. Okay, because these guys are definitely in on a roll here. Like, they have two very successful games right now that are that are thriving on Roblox right now, one more than the other, and it's kind of insane. So anyways, this is why I said to Zoot and to the rest of the team, I can make write-ups. I'm really good at making write-ups. I'm really good at analytical points where I can see, okay, what needs to be changed. And I think it's also very smart. I mean, I kind of have to tap myself on the shoulder on that. I think it's also very smart to bring the community into it as well. So I wanted to create this bridge between the community, the Discord server, and the developers. And it's really important, and I say that for every single game, that the game makers need to understand. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't, but in general, Roblox developers, they need to understand that the voice of the community is the most important thing, because once the community is gone, there's no reason to further develop the game. So that's why I believe I'm there. I think that is my job to do, because I know a lot about content creation, I know about social media, I know about you guys, and I want to know more about the comment section, and everybody trying to throw in their own ideas and stuff, because there's one thing that many people sometimes underestimate, and that is how smart the community actually is. Yeah, so that was the idea why I think I will be a nice suit in their team, and I got the point. Don't know if anybody's happy or unhappy with it, but I'm happy with it because I do this from my heart. I don't do this for any other reason other than I want the game to thrive, and I do consider Zoot my friend. So, what's next? Next is an update that is scheduled for today. I don't know if it is actually going to happen today. It depends on how fast and how quickly these things get done. Now, here's the thing. I did ask if I can get, as a balancer, if I can test it. Sorry, my English was no English right now. If I can test it. And he said, yes, that's good. So this is the first time where I can overview an update, where I can take a look at it and test something. Now, I want to give you my theory on what I'm expecting to do in the next few days that I would think is and will help the game quite a little. So, number one, of course, the damage reduction needs to be reverted. Now, I would be okay if they say, okay, we're not going to fully revert it and we're only going to nerf it to like 10 to 15%, just to give the ability and magic a little bit more of a chance. I wouldn't have an issue with that. Personally, I would want to have it reverted completely, and instead of having melee be nerfed, just buff the abilities a little more. Now they have been buffed with my Trello. You know, the Scythe had a really nice flow. The M1 buttons were added to the abilities. We have Werewolf with the M1 button. We have Divine Blade with the M1 button. These were all ideas that I had in the Trello that were put in. So I personally think magic has already been buffed quite a little bit. I think the grande picture, for me personally, you can let me know in the comments what you think of this, but the grande picture would be that the abilities are actually a little bit stronger than swords. And here's why. Because they're harder to get. Because you have the summons, right? And the summons need to feel special somewhat. So if you're actually drawing into Divine Blade or, you know, Werewolf or anything like that, you want it to be a little bit more superior. We're not talking about a full-on meta. We're talking a little bit more about like maybe 10 to 15 to 20% better than melee. That would be my idea, while also still keeping melee fairly strong. And I think the end game of this game as of now, because we have the max level of 1,000, I think should start at 8 to 900, not at 600. Right now, I'm completely level locked at 674 because one dungeon in my power level only gives me one level each, and it just takes too long. So for me personally, it would be nice if we can actually speedrun this again up until level 8 to 900, where I would say the end game would kind of start, where it makes a little bit more sense. Somebody commented something really interesting, and I want to revert back to that real quickly. I'm going to read out the name that commented this. I've also pushed it towards Zoot, and I think we all agree on this one. The name was Coachella, but spelled like a coach, like a football coach, Coachella 2600. And there was a... Now, hear me out before you hear the whole story. Learn from all those brain rot games. Don't listen to brain rot yet, because the idea behind it is actually really good. Learn from all brain rot games. They release its BS games, but wonder why do they get so many players? Because it's plain and simple. Admin abuse, codes, trade system. That's the pattern of these brain rot games, and they work, and they are popular. And I let that sink into my mind a little bit, and I was thinking about it. Yes, it's for me, for example, as a musician, it is also better to be plain and simple instead of overcomplicated, because in the end, you will only have a small portion of Roblox players that are these complicated, grinding guys that play around with numbers and this and that. So making this game a little easier and simpler to understand makes more sense in my world. Not to the sense where you would directly compare it to brain rot. I'm not so sure yet about trading and stuff like that either. That is up to the developers later on. But I just want to give you the thoughts of things. Right now the game has more questions than answers. It's not a bad game. It's a good game, and it gets you engaged. And for me, it's also having something relaxing when I chill here, just rerun repetitive dungeons. That is not the actually core issue. But I think the game could benefit from being a little bit more simple, and if we just take out these heavy nerfs, really just work on the stuff that is bad for the player instead of this is not a competitive game, so the melee being as strong as melee was is not an issue because you're not fighting against other people. That's why I think it's not a PvP game yet. I don't know if that is in the plans in the future, but right now it's not. So this is not a competitive game right now, this is a cooperative game, which means you and I could play this together. And if I have a strong melee build, you will benefit from this because we will both be finishing the same dungeons. And I think we can build on that as a foundation. This is a great foundation for a cooperative game on Roblox, even if it is a dungeon running game. And if they take that away, which they did, suddenly everybody was left with nothing. They were confused. Okay, so now they exchanged it. Now we don't have the sword damage anymore, but now magical arises. But that doesn't really make sense because now the meta shifted. It wasn't really balanced. And if we would have done it my way, the idea was to keep swords as strong as possible, as it was before, up until level 800, 900, or to 1000 for the end game players, which still will have the niche people. You can still say, hey, you know what? Let's just buff magic a little bit, because this is where basically, wait, let me see if you can see me. Wait, let's go up to my face. So this is basically where swords were and magic abilities were down here. So what they did, they took something really good and it was just being put down there, and then magic was just a little bit better. So that wasn't really balancing. That was just making it bad. And making it bad is not a good balance, right? Because the balance, they were balancing down here on the lower floors of existence, which is not good. But what is if everything is here and they would just balance the stuff that's bad, which is magical damage, and they bring that up. Now both parties are happy. Ability players are happy, sword players are happy, no problems with the community. This is exactly the kind of idea that the agenda that I tried to push. And it was heard, but it was a little ignored, but they also see now that it wasn't the right choice. So I'm part of the team now, and I'm trying to give now obviously, I don't know how much my word actually is, how much worth it actually has to them. But I think that I have an idea on how we can satisfy the community, the people that work on it, the developers, because the more people that play, the more developers will earn money. They have more fun balancing things. And if we keep it simple, they also have less work to do, because we don't have to have 8 different ideas and 8 different updates. Just give the people some nice codes, a new map to play on, maybe some new items, like some sort of a mechanic. That's it. Everybody will be happy. That's at least what I believe. If that is going to come to the actual bigger picture, I don't know. But I do have more worth now, more value in this team. And I will try to do everything to create a bridge between you guys, me, and the developers. Because you guys need to be heard. Because you guys actually have some really, really good ideas. There's a lot of stuff that you guys said that I mixed together and put into the Trello. I will try to see and find a way if I can public the Trello, but yeah. Anyways, we will see each other again once the update actually has been enrolled and out for us and everybody. So let me know what you think of this idea. Let me know if you listened until the end of the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.